There's a choke point 20 miles wide at its narrowest, and right now, 20% of every barrel of oil on this planet passes through it, the Strait of Hormuz, and it is, at this moment, functionally under Iranian control. That is not speculation. That is a documented operational reality as of mid-March 2026. Qatar's Ras Laffan LNG terminal has paused operations. Saudi Arabia's Ras Tanura refinery, one of the largest in the world, has halted. Bahrain's refinery took a direct missile strike. The port of Fujairah is under active attack. Analysts are pricing in $100 per barrel. Crude has already surged 30%. Iraq has already cut 600,000 barrels per day. Total production losses could reach 4 million barrels per day before this quarter ends. Let that number sit with you, 4 million barrels every day. This is not a price spike. This is not a market correction. This is architecture, and here is what makes it extraordinary. The country forcing this outcome spent approximately $10,000 per drone to do it. The United States spent approximately $2 million per missile to respond. That is not a typo, $10,000 versus $2 million. Every single exchange, every single time. The UN Security Council documented the escalating Hormuz vulnerability as early as the 2000s. The U.S. Energy Information Administration confirmed in 2023 that no alternative route exists capable of absorbing even half of Hormuz's daily flow. The oil industry, now repricing its entire global inventory against a $100 barrel, generates over $3 trillion annually. $3 trillion. They did not fail to plan for this scenario. That would be an accident. They planned for it and priced it in. That was not an accident. It was a decision. This is the story of the Strait of Hormuz, and what the war there is actually costing, and why the full arithmetic of this crisis was never supposed to reach you. Welcome back to World Economy Decode, where we open the vaults. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell right now. This is where we dig up everything the industry tried to bury, and what is buried inside this particular story may be the most consequential economic event you will live through. Go back to 1908, southwestern Persia. The desert heat is extraordinary, surface temperatures above 45 degrees Celsius. A British engineer named George Bernard Reynolds has been drilling for 2 years. The Anglo-Persian Oil Company, funded by a British parliament desperate to shift its naval fleet from coal to oil, is running out of patience. Running out of money, one more failed well and the project dies. Then the oil comes up. What followed was not merely a discovery, it was the beginning of a 118-year dependency chain that has never been broken. Britain immediately recognized that whoever controls Persian oil controls the movement of navies. Winston Churchill, then First Lord of the Admiralty, moved within 5 years to convert the entire Royal Navy to oil. He did not do this because it was convenient. He did it because oil from Persia was controllable in ways that domestic coal was not. A controlled fuel source is a controlled empire. That logic, oil equals power, and geographic choke points equal leverage, has never changed. It has only deepened. Move forward 40 years. 1951. Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mosaddegh moves to nationalize the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, the same company renamed. He argued the oil belonged to the Iranian people. Britain and the United States disagreed. What followed was Operation Ajax in 1953, a documented CIA six-backed coup that removed Mosaddegh from power. Declassified U.S. government documents confirmed this in 2013. A democratically elected leader removed because he threatened oil control. Documented, confirmed, not conspiracy. The Strait of Hormuz as a strategic vulnerability was formally war-gamed by the U.S. military in the 1970s following the OPEC oil embargo. Of 1973, during that embargo, oil prices quadrupled in 6 months. The U.S. economy entered stagflation. Lines formed at gas stations across America. The Carter Doctrine, declared in 1980, made it explicit United States policy that any attempt to control the Persian Gulf would be considered an attack on U.S. vital interests. The doctrine is still in effect. That is not coincidence. That is 115 years of documented proof that geography is destiny when the world runs on a single fuel, and now, in 2026, that geography has finally been fully weaponized. Not by a superpower with aircraft carriers, by asymmetric math, $10,000 drones against $2 million missiles, the leverage, the region Alwa. Dr. Tex Hams of the National Defense University published foundational research on asymmetric cost-exchange ratios in 2012, work that became essential reading. His conclusion, documented in the journal Orbis, was precise. When an adversary can impose costs at a ratio exceeding 1:1, conventional deterrence eventually collapses. Not immediately, gradually, until the defender cannot sustain the arithmetic. The current Iran-US exchange ratio documented in Pentagon briefings is approximately 2:1. A Shad series drone costs between $10,000 and $20,000 to manufacture. A standard missile to intercept costs between $2 and $4 million. Each intercept, even a successful one, is a financial loss for the defending side. Read that again. Winning the engagement costs more than losing it would have. This is not new theory. The RAND Corporation documented this cost inversion problem in a 2019 report on drone proliferation, noting that the economics of drone warfare structurally favor attackers in a way that no previous weapons technology has. The report specifically modeled Hormuz-adjacent scenarios. The numbers were not classified, they were published, they were ignored in public policy discourse. Meanwhile, the rare earth dimension adds a second layer that is even more alarming. A single F-15 fighter jet requires 400 kilograms of rare earth minerals. A Virginia-class submarine requires approximately 10,000 pounds. The United States currently imports approximately 80% of its rare earth minerals from China, with some critical materials neodymium, dysprosium, terbium at 95% dependency, 95%. Let that number sit with you. China has not yet restricted rare earth exports. That is not restraint, that is timing. When you hold a card that exhausts your opponent's weapons production capacity, you do not play it early, you hold it until the opponent is already extended. This is the kind of information that used to travel through serious strategic policy circles for decades, passed down because it was accurate. That chain of public awareness broke somewhere. It does not have to stay broken. The Congressional Research Service confirmed in February 2026 that U.S. domestic rare earth processing capacity cannot meet defense sector demand for at least 7 to 10 years, even under emergency industrial mobilization. 7 to 10 years. So why is this not the front page of every newspaper in America every single morning? Here is what a $3 trillion per year industry looks like. Here are some of the companies whose valuations depend on the continued global dependency on Persian Gulf oil: ExxonMobil, Chevron, Shell, BP, TotalEnergies, Saudi Aramco. These are not bad actors in a legal sense. Frame this correctly. They are rational actors responding to financial incentive, and the financial incentive is this: the current system oil priced by geography, refined by oligopoly, distributed through captive infrastructure, generates returns that no alternative can match, while the alternative remains suppressed, underfunded, or simply unknown to the consumer. You cannot patent the wind, you cannot trademark sunlight, you cannot build a subscription model around tidal energy, you cannot charge a replacement cartridge fee for geothermal heat. You cannot lock a nation into recurring purchase cycles using a resource that exists in the ground beneath its own feet. But you can do all of those things: lock-in, dependency, recurring revenue, captive pricing, if the world runs on a liquid that only comes from 6 countries, flows through one strait, and requires a fleet of aircraft carriers to protect. The regulatory architecture reinforces this. Energy infrastructure projects in the United States require environmental impact assessments that cost between $5 and $50 million and take 3 to 7 years. That timeline and cost is not prohibitive for ExxonMobil. It is prohibitive for a mid-size renewable startup that threatens the incumbent model. The barrier is not environmental protection. The barrier is duration and capital, and both favor the incumbent. This is not oversight. This is architecture, deliberate and sustained. The military cost structure confirms it. Early estimates put the current Gulf operation at $5 billion. Revised Pentagon figures suggest 10 to 20 billion. Munitions replenishment alone, the Standard missiles, the interceptors, the precision weapons expended in the last 90 days may require a supplemental budget request of up to $50 billion. $50 billion to protect the infrastructure of a $3 trillion industry. Paid by the American taxpayer, profit retained by shareholders. The asymmetry is not just military, it is economic, and it has been designed that way. This is not abstract geopolitics. This is a direct cost that is about to land in your wallet, your heating bill, your grocery receipt, your fuel pump. Here is how to position yourself, not theoretically, but practically today. Step 1. Understand your personal oil exposure. The average American household spends approximately $2,000 to $3,000 per year on direct fuel costs: gasoline, heating oil, natural gas. At a 30% crude price increase sustained for 12 months, that exposure rises to $2,600 to $3,900. Calculate your number, not the national average, yours. Step 2. Watch the crack spread. The crack spread is the difference between the price of crude oil and the refined products: gasoline, diesel, jet fuel made from it. When the crack spread widens rapidly, refiners are absorbing cost and preparing to pass it through. Right now, the crack spread is widening. That is your leading indicator. When it widens beyond $15 per barrel, retail fuel prices follow within 4 to 6 weeks. Watch for it. It moves before the headlines do. Step 3. Follow China's treasury position. China currently holds approximately $680 billion in U.S. Treasury bonds, down from over $1 trillion in 2013. Each time that number drops, there is mild upward pressure on U.S. interest rates. If it drops below $600 billion in a single quarter, that is not a data point. That is a signal. Watch for it in the monthly Treasury International Capital Reports published by the U.S. Treasury Department on the 15th of each month. Free, public. Almost nobody reads them. Step 4. Track gold as a sentiment instrument, not a currency. China has documented holdings of 74.2 million troy ounces of gold. They have been accumulating since 2009. When central banks accumulate gold at this rate while simultaneously reducing treasury holdings, that is a documented historical precursor. 2 currency realignment events. The 1971 Nixon shock followed a similar pattern. The 1985 Plaza Accord followed a similar pattern. This pattern has a record. Read the record. Watch for this sign. When you see oil above $100, a widening crack spread a China Treasury position declining more than 5% in a single quarter. And gold above $2,800 per ounce simultaneously. Those 4 signals together are not coincidence. That is a structural shift. Act accordingly with whatever financial positioning is appropriate to your situation. One honest limitation here: none of this is a trading strategy. These are macro indicators, not timing instruments. People have gone broke shorting the dollar or going long gold at the wrong moment, even when the long-term thesis was correct. The indicators tell you the direction of the current. They do not tell you exactly when the river bends. The cost comparison is stark. Staying uninformed costs you everything the market decides to take. Becoming fluent in these signals costs you 30 minutes a month reading public government data. 30 minutes versus everything. Ancient dependency on a single geographic resource, documented in 1908, formalized into military doctrine by 1980, war gamed for 40 years, now detonated using a $10,000 drone against a $2 million missile in a strait that 20% of the world's oil cannot avoid, the science of asymmetric. Cost exchange confirms this was always the most likely outcome. The industry that profits from the dependency had every financial reason to ensure you never understood the mechanism while it could still be disrupted cheaply. This knowledge did not disappear. Someone made sure it stayed buried. Now you have it. If this video opened something for you, subscribe now. The archive here is deep and it is growing. Every vault contains something the standard financial press does not have the incentive to tell you. The next vault opens soon. What is inside is even heavier than this.